Good morning, guys. We are just under an hour into London session. And if I'm going to be honest, nothing really that amazing has happened. We did have some news yesterday. Nothing really crazy dramatic happened, just kind of continuations across the board, really. There was a couple nice trades at the beginning of the week. One of them was Euro Pound. So let's just break this down super quick. So, hang on. Cool. So Euro Pound, obviously daily, we've had a pretty massive crash to the downside against the pound, obviously. With the euro, sorry. The pound has obviously gotten a lot stronger, and you can see, I think GPUSD is at 1.260 at the moment, something like that. So yeah, anyway, so we've had a pretty bearish month and last few weeks against Euro Pound, and really I'm kind of looking for to see if this demand is going to get mitigated, or potentially if we're actually going to come a little bit deeper. But overall, I was firstly looking off this zone, but still had the understanding that price could eventually come back down into here. So the overall kind of zone I'm really looking for is kind of like the 8,500 psychological level, major half point. That's going to be a nice area for us to be trading from. So I'm really just looking for this overall level to get met. So if we're looking for this overall level to get met, we might as well just be continuing looking for shorts. Let me just delete this off. So you can see last week on Euro Pound, we were bearish and we actually had a test of supply, which then came down. We followed through with a breaker structure. This is our confirmed breaker structure. Then we're just looking for the zone that caused that breaker structure. Now, yes, you could argue that potentially was up here because this was it started, but you can see everything within this point had actually been mitigated. So we had this zone that was mitigated. This was all mitigated. This last up move again, this was mitigated in here. With this move, we're sweeping these highs. And you can see we have this high here. We have some liquidity here. Price literally just runs it one more time, and then we actually confirm break structures. So really and truly, the zone that we really should be looking for was actually here, because if you're following the whole mitigations, you should be looking at the point, which is the most unmitigated zone. So I like to use anywhere in the 50% or above for areas that I'm looking to trade from. And you can see my fib levels are lining up really, really nicely with this area of interest. I'm pretty sure that's kind of in and around the 50%. So okay, so just slightly off the 50% of this zone. So there are a couple entries that you could have taken on this. I actually got in on a high time frame, then I got in on a lower time frame. So overall, I wasn't really out on my computer on Monday. So I had the order set, and my stop was actually just above this height. And my overall targets, target 1 is here, target 2 is going to be down here, or like to our last move that we're looking for. Now, I've taken some profits from this already, but let's actually break down. So this is my first entry. My first entry was off this 4 hour. And the only reason why I took it straight off this 4 hours, because I mean, the risk reward isn't amazing. What I like 4 to 7, that's still good. But it's always better, in my opinion, getting on like a lower time frame to get like a bit more of a better risk reward. But we are breaking structures low. We pull back up into the zone that we first mitigating from. Now, I did actually get in on a second position, and this was because of this distribution that played out. Really, really, really clean distribution. We came in and we tested this last hourly move in here. Really and truly, you could have actually got another entry from here, but like I said, I wasn't really behind the computer too much, and I didn't really want to be having too much risk on the table. So just have my main one. That's fine if it pulls through, sweet. So following that morning though, so Monday we came in, we triggered, we pulled back going into the Asian session. Price almost actually took me out, but it didn't. We came close. Actually, no, I feel like my, let me have a look. We at 160. Okay, cool. Yeah, so 160 we are. So price came all the way up. We didn't sweep out this high. We still maintained within this overall zone, and then going into this morning, just before London session, we broke structures. So for me, we came up into the Asian session and then we pulled back down. Going to London, we had this pullback. So I was looking for this low to kind of get released because we had just wicked below this low and then price was looking like it was pulling back. This again, in my opinion, is just like a manipulation of people that trade like the way we trade smart money, because you think this is a regular liquidity, which in the grand scheme of things it was. But then price pulled back up and then we started going lower. Now, price did just close above this 15-minute. Now, I do usually like to wait for a more confirmed breaker structure, but high time frame where bearish. I was looking for bearish movements anyway, dropping it down a lower time frame. I was bearish, so this was more of a like enough confirmation for me that price was going to kind of roll over. So I was really looking for, again, the area that caused that. So you can see we came in, we actually tested this zone on the Monday. Price came down, going to the Asian. We swept Monday high, pumping it down into London, and then it was off an hourly. Yeah, so off the 1 hour. Shorts. Same stop loss. Same overall targets. So had we both had these running 2 final targets, it is now a 1 to 7, almost like a 1 to 8. So you can see the difference from, excuse me, the 1 to 4 to then the 1 to 7 in terms of risk to reward, and how different it is when you actually just pay attention just that little bit more and just understanding and looking at the different movements in price. So that's usually what I like to do when I'm getting in on entries, have like an overall high time frame zone and then have a look in and around this zone to see if there's going to be something on a lower time frame with a better risk to reward. And then you can set these as targets. Then you can have your first target, that's a 1 to 5, and then you're going to have your second one running, and that will be coming down into 1 to 4 as well. So really, really nice opportunities on Euro pound at the beginning of the week. US 30, nothing. NAS, nothing. AUD USD. I was looking for somewhere in this zone to see if we were going to have any reactions. We didn't really have that much reactions. I was looking to see if we were going to come pull back down into this hourly zone on the Asian session. As you can see, we just got this mitigation so far. And I thought what I would have liked to have seen is in the Asian session, price rolled down, we take out these equal lows, and then we start heading back to the upside. That is what I would have wanted to have seen. I was potentially looking to pull a fib. If you was looking to pull a fib, that was kind of right in some senses. I just don't really like these lows and this unmitigated zone as well. So that doesn't mean to say that price still can't do that. If we do now break higher than this high, I then will just kind of scrap that off the table, because potentially we would look for some sort of pullback naturally. If we're going to be invalidating this zone, then I want to be looking on the daily to see what are the zones we do have higher up. Now we can pull a fib from here. You can see where our 50% is. Prices line up with that really nice. Yes, we did break structures here, and that's fine, I understand, but this is still an unmitigated zone, which was from the follow through from the first kind of bearish movement we had before we had all of this nasty like price action in here. So AU, I do want to see what reactions we do and can get from there. If I do see any opportunity to buy, I think I probably will, just because for me, this isn't a high in the market for me. So I'm not really going to be looking too much at this point. If price then does raid, then come back down, that's going to be a different story. Equally, if we just ride up into this zone, I'm going to look for price action to see if we could potentially get some bearish movements if it shows. Equally, if we're generating some highs, if price does pull back down, I do want to see if we can potentially get in on something and take it a little bit higher. Silver, nothing really too crazy is happening, unfortunately. I was looking for shorts off this, which is a real shame that they didn't come through just by Short missed it, but it's fine. It happens. So silver, I've actually been really enjoying trading silver recently. It's been fun. I did want to see overall from the buys if we were going to get these highs ran. We did. We accomplished that. That's amazing. Soon as we did that, price then give us this distribution phase. You can see manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. We have that one final sweep of that manipulation. Price breaks structure, and then price falls up again, and then we just died off one more time. But now, because we had left still some highs in here, and we had some zones that were unmitigated still. Obviously, this is just a big sweep on liquidity, and if you had been selling in and around here, that would have been quite a shame. Had you, though, still identified this zone, it still could have been a massive potential trading opportunity. Unfortunately, I didn't actually see this. I wasn't here over the weekend. I did actually get back only Tuesday. But this would have been a very, very, very nice opportunity. So again, we had raid liquidity. This is your confirmed break structure in the Asian session. Price kind of pulls up. We then come back down, cause another break structure. I was then potentially looking to see, cool, that zone looks nice. And then which it did first play out. And then, as you can see, if you actually really, really look at the true move, I would say that this was your full break structure. This is just a leg in price to then actually take it lower. So valid entries actually would have been straight off this 30-minute in here. If it was me personally, I would have had my shorts from the open of this 30-minute, and then I would have had my stops just above the high, and then targets would have been all the way down into this Asian low, just because I didn't feel like that was a very secure low. So 1 to 5 silver would have been a really, really amazing trade. Didn't play out though, that's fine. I'm still looking to see if we can get some bullish pricing on silver. Just because we have pulled back all this way doesn't mean that we couldn't still give a little bit of a launch up. We could very much still continue high after just mitigating out more zones in here. Equally, we could obviously just see that right down, because on the weekly, I'm looking for this zone to play out. But what I think could happen is I think we could have one more run on everything. I'm not saying that is going to happen, obviously, but depending on what happens on the day. If we do kind of hacksaw ridge back up in here on the 4-hourly, and we're closing above these zones, then I do want to see what sort of reaction price is given around here. But a lot of this liquidity was expected to be taken again. I did say I wasn't really going to be looking for shorts, if you watch my previous video, until this whole range is actually broken, because this is where a lot of liquidity was all pumped in the market, and you can see we pull this zone all the way across. This is a nice pool of supply and demand within this market, and looking for nice reactions from this zone. So again, I am going to wait. If we do get some pullbacks, I am going to be still looking for my zones. I was looking for a 1 minute, a 5 minute. We had runs on the highs, and then you can see we had this 5 minute zone. That was a really, really nice candle. Came super close to it. We didn't. We actually generated equal highs, which is slightly annoying. I did want to see the raid of these highs, but again, that's fine. So now we still have a point of liquidity that we still very much well could take. Again, that doesn't mean to say that price couldn't pretty much collapse from here. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be nice and interesting to see what sort of reactions we get from this overall region. But definitely going into the London and New York session, I do want to see if we can get other reactions from these zones. Gold, again, exactly the same thing as silver, if I'm going to be honest. We had the raid, prices come back down. We had that kind of intermediate pullback. We had that one more sweep, and this was right up into a 5 minute move. Actually, it was in a 1 minute. Yeah. So right into this last point of supply here. We then started to push back down, and on the 5 minute, I was looking again off of this guy. You can see we mitigated here. We just swept these highs with this move here. And then this is our last unmitigated zone. Price literally came and kissed it, and it was quite annoying, but that's fine. It is what it is. Was only really looking to target these lows. But still really, really nice 1 to 4, 1 to 4 on the table. So if you guys got any questions, please feel fire away and let me know. I hope you guys can take something from this. And yeah, if you guys got any questions, please let me know. All right, guys. Bye.